watch it again. Um, Hi, my name is Tina. I am the education manager for Tobii Dynavox in the UK and Ireland. And for the next 45 minutes, we are going to talk about Boardmaker 7, which is due to release in just a few weeks' time now, and how it can support AAC. So first, let's talk a little bit more about Boardmaker 7. Very exciting. Really happy that this new addition to the Boardmaker family will be coming out sometime towards the end of next month. Boardmaker 7, we're going to mainly focus today on the editor, which you're going to be able to install on Windows, Mac, and Chromebook. You can, with the editor, create, as you'll see today, lots of different resources, both print and interactive. We're going to be focusing mainly on print today. If I have time, we'll do a little bit of interactive. We're going to talk about how you can create things from scratch, as well as looking at the templates. And we're also going to look today at how you can bring in older resources that you've made in previous versions of Boardmaker. You're going to see how we can create multi-page documents, and very exciting how you can take old Boardmaker resources that might have been in lots of different files to create a book, and how you can make it into one multi-page document. How you can print to PDF. Now, we're going to have one version of Boardmaker going forward, and that's going to be Boardmaker 7. Any of you who are currently using Boardmaker online, you're going to be moved to Boardmaker 7 subscription. So that's going to give you lots of wonderful benefits, which we can point you in the direction of some other um, webinars to go to about that. You also have a standard version of Boardmaker 7. The editor is exactly the same for both. It's just with standard, you can put it on, you purchase a license, you put it on 2 computers, and you can use one at a time. Where subscription, you can install it on an unlimited amount of computers, and you use your login to then use it. So one Boardmaker going forward, Boardmaker 7, 2 different ways to purchase it. Check out what is Boardmaker 7 webinar either on this playlist or where you'll find this recording, or in a future webinar, and we can tell you more about that. So in this session, we are going to talk specifically about the AAC supports that you will find in Boardmaker 7 editor. Doesn't matter, standard or subscription, it's going to be the same. And we're going to take a look throughout this session at the templates. There are some wonderful templates for creating communication books and boards, as well as device overlays. So those things that you slip into, like usually plastic devices, like a GoTalk. We're going to see how you can create from a sample to get up and running really quickly, but then also how you can take a template and take it in an empty format and put in all of your personalized content. We're going to take a look today at how you can open your version 5 and version 6 files. So most specifically, well, I know a lot of people are very anxious about Pod because those were created in version 6. So we'll talk about that a bit, and how you can also convert these version 5 and 6 files into a multi-page document, making it so much quicker for you to edit and print. And also how you can take something you've made in 5 or 6, and you can add extra rows and columns as people's ability to use AAC becomes greater, or they can hit a smaller target. We're also going to talk about how you can use Boardmaker 7 to personalize your AAC supports. So using our massive library of symbols, bringing in your own media, bringing things in from files and web searches. So I want to just take a second to talk a little bit more about symbols, because that's really at the heart of all of this. So you're going to see in Boardmaker 7 how we have breathed some new life into the PCS Classic symbol, so the egghead. Here you'll notice I've got lots of different skin tones showing. And not right at launch, but shortly after, we're going to bring in a mechanism where you're going to be able to choose really easily different skin tones and affect that throughout an entire document, or just one at a time. So taking these eggheads and making them more personal for someone. We also are adding a second volume of high contrast symbols. So I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about that. They're going to come in Boardmaker 7, whether you're a standard or subscription user, you're going to get a whole lot of new high contrast symbols. So very, 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 very exciting, and great to use for people who have a visual impairment. We're also going to see the diversity initiative go throughout our thin line symbols. So those of you who are already using Boardmaker Online are benefiting from this now. You're seeing that we've got symbols that are reflecting people from all different types of ethnic backgrounds and regions. So this is a lovely addition to the thin line symbols. And then if you don't know about In Context, this is a great addition to Boardmaker. Again, people who are currently using Boardmaker online are benefiting from these now, but the In Context symbols are very contextually rich graphics that were designed to support people who've had a stroke or brain injury. They tend to show adults and use a lot of, as you can see, body language within the illustrations. And these will be an added symbol set to Boardmaker 7. Now, for those of you who are using Boardmaker Online or who are going to go for Boardmaker 7 as a subscription, you're going to get all of these 45,000 symbols that we have added to Boardmaker 7, and then on top of that, biweekly symbol updates. So these are just a few examples of the kind of things we've done over the previous months and years with Boardmaker Online. So using language that our users want to use, whether it be age appropriate, getting to become teenager or adult, maybe they want a few swear words, they want to talk about Harry Potter, their favorite toys, they want to use vernacular like FOMO that kids are using now. We also are looking at what's going on in the world and updating our symbols so we can talk about Black Lives Matters. We can talk about Brexit and coronavirus. We're looking at regional symbols. So you can see lots of symbols that support life and living in your area. These were all done for the UK and Ireland. And also initiatives where we have gotten feedback from customers. Some of them are on here. I'm going to call out Carly Hines, who is an eco warrior and gave us a whole bunch of ideas for stuff about supporting her students talking about the environment, or it could be supporting nurses on ICU wards, talking about different body parts for doctors who need to talk about, parts of the ear. Initiatives to support AAC users as they go through assessment, as well as internet safety. So lots of exciting stuff that we are going to add as biweekly updates for our Boardmaker subscribers. You'll get these every other week like magic. It's very exciting, and it's going to make our AAC supports so much more relevant and personal to our users. So we're going to go on now, and I'm going to take you in to Boardmaker 7 and show you all of these wonderful things that I've talked about. I don't know if any of my colleagues are on the call at the moment, but we'll chat your questions in at any point, and if anybody's got the answer, I don't know if Cyril or Christina or if anybody on the UK team is here. I don't think they are. You will We'll answer the questions as we can in the chat, and I will certainly address them as I pause presenting at times. So feel free, if you've got any questions, ping them in now. Otherwise, I'm going to go in and change my view so that you can see Boardmaker 7. Let me move this over so you can see Boardmaker 7. All right, so here we go. Boardmaker 7, ta-da! I'm going to start by showing you some templates because there's a huge bank of templates in Boardmaker 7. Right now I'm in my dashboard, and this is going to show me my most recent resources. So you can see I was preparing for this and creating some AAC supports over the past couple of days. If I click on my Boardmaker, this is going to show me all those things that I have in my cloud storage. So these are things I might have made in Boardmaker Online a couple of years ago that I can just click on and bring onto this locally installed version of Boardmaker 7 to carry on editing. But what I'm going to do is instead of using something or editing something I've already created, I'm going to go straight into new, which brings me to my template picker. So this is where I'm going to highlight some fantastic templates that we have in place to support your users who are using low or maybe mid-tech AAC systems. I can click on blank and start to create something from scratch. I can also see the most recently used templates, but I'm going to go into print because what I'm interested in are all these subcategories. So here you can see we've got a section on communication. I'm going to go to that in a little bit, but I'm going to start right now on device overlays. So we've got a lot of really common mid-tech device overlay templates here. So I think GoTalk is a very popular one. If those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's like a green plastic molded device that has a grid that we print out from Boardmaker 7, and then we cut out this piece of paper, we slip it into this digitized device, and we can record our messages right into it. So I'm going to grab the GoTalk, and I'm going to start by just creating this empty. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to make a board that's going to talk about feelings. So we'll see immediately in Boardmaker 7 how quick it is for me just to type. So I'm just typing on my keyboard, pressing enter, and a symbol search is initiated. So here I'm going to use those lovely diversity symbols. I'd like to make a board using them. So I'm just going to go in and that's it. Click, and then I'm going to type again. So sad, press return on my keyboard, and again, I see all the symbols that are available that have the word sad. And you can see it just automatically moves on to the next empty cell. So I can populate this very quickly. So let's do surprised. Now, you will also notice that I have different ways of searching. So I'm searching for surprised right now, but maybe I want to see excited. Or actually, let's do sad. I'm going to go back to sad. I know I've already done that, but I want a shorter word. So I'm just going to do a search. And as I'm searching, you'll see that I've got 87 results because it's looking for SAD anywhere within a symbol label. So I see quesadilla, SAD is in there. If I want to start to refine my search, I can look for SAD beginning in a label. So I will see things like saddle, and this is great if we're working on literacy or fluency initiative where we want to look for certain sounds or certain words at the beginning or maybe at the end of things as well. So it's cut that down. I can also search for whole words. So this is looking for sad, just SAD as a whole word, and I've got 57 results there. I was actually looking for excited, wasn't I? So let's do that. I'll put excited and put that in. So great improvement to our symbol search there. So I'm not going to continue to fill this in because it'll take a while. What I want to do now is show you how easy it is for me to change how this looks. Maybe happy, I want to bring some emphasis to this. So what I'd like to do is here on my right-hand side, use my properties panel because I want to fill the background to show a happy color, yellow. That's a happy color to me. I could do this one by one, and then maybe I want to have sad as blue. I can also change the border color here if I want to. So let's make that a darker blue. And I'd like the thickness of that border to be much more. So I can go and do that cell by cell, or I can multi-select all of them. And then I can change them and say I'd actually like all of these to be a light green color. Okay, so that properties panel on the right-hand side makes it really, really simple for me to affect change when it comes to the way that my buttons look. It also will allow me to change whether I'm displaying just a symbol or maybe I want to display just a word. And again, I can do that cell by cell, or as you see me doing, the entire selection. I can change to different fonts, and there's many more fonts available than what you might have had in things like Boardmaker Online. I can change the color and the orientation, all that kind of stuff. So lots of really cool things to personalize my low-tech system. All right, please chat in any questions as you think about them. I don't see any yet. So I'm going to just close this out because now I want to show you some templates in the communication section. So again, I'm on my dashboard. I'm going to go to new. I'm going to go to printable. And this time I'm going to click on communication. So here we see communication boards that vary in the grid size. Actually, these grid sizes are intentional because they match the growth in Snap Core First, our high-tech AAC system. So it's an app that you can download and use on an iPad or a Windows device, or of course on a dedicated Tobii Dynavox device. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this 4x4. Let's have somebody using Snapcore first in that layout on there, Indie. And this time, instead of choosing create, I'm going to select from sample. And what I'm going to get is my core page already populated. So this matches Snapcore first. I can go in and I don't have to do much to create a small communication board or book that I'm going to use as a backup or maybe to model. So what I'd like to do here is just do a small book that we're going to use when we're out and about, or when we go to the swimming pool, because I'm not going to bring the Indie in the pool with me. I can laminate this and take it along. So I'm going to do a little section on school, and actually maybe I'll do something for the pool. So we can have words like splash and swim and play. I can use things to then change my my orientation here. And what I can also do now is see over on the left-hand side, my pages panel. I can put some topical uh, messages here that are formulaic, so full sentences. You know, what time are we going swimming? How long can you hold your breath? Or general comments, the pool is cool. Or positive comments, oh, I love it when you splash like that. Or negative comments, I hate it when you splash like that. So I can go in and I can put messages specific for the pool. I also want to put some messages that go along with school, but I've already done that in another little book that I created for messy playtime. So what I'm going to do is click on new page here, and I'm going to go new page from an activity because I already know I made a book about school. So here's the school book, and I'm going to open, and I'm going to grab that page there about school topics. So I'm just going to bring it in because I already made it. I don't have to do it again. So here is the page from another book that I created for Messy Play that's already got all of my questions, my comments, my positives and negatives done. It's going to save me so much time. I don't have to recreate. I also would like to make a page that has information, just different items that I can use with my core words, my fringe vocabulary. I want splash, I want swim. So what I'm going to do here is just click on new page, and this time I'm going to add a new page from a template. And here, my most recently used, that is the grid size, the one I just opened. So I'm going to click on that, and this time, rather from sample, I'm going to choose from select, because that's going to give me a nice empty one. So here I can put swimming, and I can start to think of ideas. So I can say, oh, let's do splash, and let's do bubbles. But maybe I run out of ideas. So what I'm going to do is go over here on the right-hand side to symbols, and I've got all of these folders. They're categories that have symbols in them. So maybe I want to go in and let's see, let's go into toy and play. And let's take a look. Oh, there's sports actions. Let me take a look at sports actions, because maybe up in swimming actions, I can see things that I can put in. Oh, belly flop. I never would have thought to put that in. What else? Oh, yeah, and here we go. Cannonball. That's a fun one. Let's drop that in. So now I'm just dragging and dropping, and I'm seeing all the different symbols that we have available that if I had to think of it off the top of my head, I may not have thought of these ideas. So I can put them in and put lots of different symbols in. This is so fantastic, and it really helps us create really diverse symbols, AAC supports very, very quickly. Another thing I can do here now is I can highlight these because I've just kind of dumped them in quickly. I prefer an alphabetical layout to my fringe vocabulary. So with a right click, I can go in and alphabetize these. So now they're in an alphabetical layout, even if I was just kind of brain dumping. Again, making it really, really quick for me to create these low-tech AAC supports. What do you guys think? Any questions, any comments? Feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to save that while you guys ask any questions you might have. Also take a cup of a sip of my tea. So I'm going to do swimming book, put that in there. All right, cool. So One last thing I want to show you in the communication area is I'm going to go to return to my desktop, and again go to new. In Printable, again, same place I was in before, in communication. For those of you who are using Snap Core First, we also have 2 books that are tabbed that are pretty much all set up and ready to go. So I'm just going to open this Core First. When you print it out, now I can't see myself on the video. Hopefully you can see that. When you print them out, you get a nice little tab system here. Okay, and we've got our toolbar that's similar to Snap Core First over here with links to things like quick fires and also descriptions and little words. And then across the bottom, we have some topics. And the topics that we chose, you can of course edit. We chose topics that are going to be used very commonly day to day. You can put in your personal, but then you've got, your core words. You also have, then again, like I was just saying, little words, your quick fires. Of course, I can go in and edit them because I like to say awesome, not good. So I can just go in and edit that. And of course, I can change my topics. The topics are things like reading, television, mealtime, actually all the topics that we mention in Pathways, our free app that supports you in upping your implementation skills when using Snap Core First, but it obviously can apply to low tech as well. And of course, we have a keyboard available because you always want to have that keyboard when the word isn't there so we can model spelling. Now, something else I really, really like with Boardmaker 7 is we make it very simple to create from PDF. So I can click on this right now, and I'm going to call this Rafi's book, and I'm going to open after creating. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a PDF because I want to send this home to Rafi's mom. She's, sheltering right now. Rafi's not coming to school. I can't just throw it in his book bag, but she wants to support Rafi in using Snap Core First. She wants that low-tech book at home as well. So here now I've got a PDF version of this that I can just clip to an email and send to Rafi's mom, and then she can print it out and work on it at home with him. All right, so fantastic, making it really, really easy for you all to be sharing these low-tech resources with the people who are supporting your AAC user. All right, I see there's some, I'm just gonna look at the comments for a second. Yep, Carly, thanks. Yeah, the alphabetized feature is fantastic. I think it's a wonderful thing. They're loving the symbols, really quick and intuitive. Awesome, great comments. So now I am going to return to my dashboard. Yeah, let's save those changes. So I'll just do Rafi's book. There we go. Save those changes and go back to my dashboard. So there's a lot more that we could do with the templates. And I actually have another webinar on Friday about creating print materials. Well, I'll dive into templates that go way beyond just AAC, templates for learning to support behavior, all different types of stuff. So do join us on that if you can. What I want to do now is talk about opening older files that you've created. And this will include pod as well. So what I'm going to do now, instead of clicking on new, I'm going to click on open. So here I'm going to now go to my desktop where I know I have some old version 6 books I've created. So I'm going to go to this communication book, and I am going to just bring in one of these. Let's bring in food. All right. So what it's going to do is it's going to convert that version 6 file right into Boardmaker 7. And here I can see a board I made months ago, years ago. And my AAC user still likes all this food. It's still very relevant to him. But he actually, his fine motor skills have gotten so much better. He could hit much smaller targets. So I want to give him more choice here. So what I can do with this thing that I made 5 years ago in version 6 is I'm going to click on the background. So you can see the background, and you can notice now I'm clicking on the button, I get the fence around that. But when I click on the background, I get that blue fence around the whole page. Now on my properties panel, you can see it's changed. So what I'm going to do is go to layout, and I'm going to change the layout, and I want to add a few more rows and columns there. So I'm going to add 5 and 4. So now I'm still retaining sandwich and sausage and pizza, which, my user loves. I can then now go and add more information. So I'm just going to do one button, and it's going to just sort of autofill, and then I can spray, and again, they'll just autofill into that. And now I can start to put things in because, they really like curry as well, and I want to add that in. Sorry, I just got to click on one. So I can add that in. So curry and rice is one of their favorites. And I can use alphabetize like you saw before, or what I can also do is just drag and drop because I want, and I've got 2 selected there. So let me grab pizza. I want pizza up here, and I want sausage down there. What I also like is if I realize, well, his fine motor skill has gotten a whole lot better, but he needs a bit more of a margin in there. So there's a little bit of space so I can really tell which, button he's clicking on or pointing to. Now what I can do is over here in this layout, I can also increase the grid margin. So that's going to give me more of a gap. I just love this. I can't tell you how many times I've created something and then spent so much time fiddling around trying to, add another column, add another row. We're making this so easy for you in Boardmaker 7. All right, again, give me your questions, give me your comments in the chat. We're doing super well on time here, so feel free to ping those questions away. Again, I've got everything that you've seen me do with my properties panel. I can bring in another page like you saw me do before. All right, I'm going to return to dashboard. Great, I'm getting a lot of great. Oh, okay, Jane, very good. Some buttons have words at the top and some at the bottom. Very good, Jane. All right, eagle eyes. Now I can change that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on all of them, and I can choose from content here where it all is. So if I want them all at the top or all at the bottom, I can change it there. That was a really good spot. So, or if I want, again, like I showed you before, just a symbol or just a word, I can also have the symbol to the left or to the right. So I think it must be by default that I had it on bottom and the one I brought in was at top, or vice versa, whatever the case was, but it's super easy to change it. That was a good shout. Can you raise the point size of the words? Okay, so to change, that's another really good question. Christine, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly there, has asked if I can change. Let me put these back to the label being at top or the label being at bottom. So there we go. So you want to change where the label for pizza is. Now, that is one small concession when we bring things in from Boardmaker 6. Sometimes the spacing of the words can go a little bit funny, and that's because what we like to do is favor editability over visual fidelity. You'll see when I first opened, and I'll show you again when I do the pod example of that choice. I chose editability because I want to be able to click in and type in, I can't think of anything, quiche. I want to be able to click in quickly and type. And so I want to favor the editability, that quick edit, which may mean that the visual fidelity, so the word maybe being slightly lower or slightly higher, is going to go off because I'd rather edit easier than worry about where the word is. If you want the words to be exactly where they are, choose to favor editability. The other thing I can do is, let's say I want pizza somewhere else. Right now, this is what we call a standard button. Because it's in a grid, I won't be able to show you. Let me do a new blank page and I can explain this. So a standard button, let me type in OT. A standard button operates in a way that when I increase or decrease the size of the button, I'm not pressing anything. It just automatically skews the symbol size. That's by default for Boardmaker 7, as it has been in Studio and Boardmaker Online, how the buttons work. It's a great improvement from what you might have had in version 6. Now, if I want to change, because the word and the symbol are working together as a standard and they're moving with the size of that button. If I want to change and work with the label separate from the symbol, I need to change the button type. So over here, type of button, I'm going to change it to group. And what that does is it acts like version 6 did. And now my symbol, well, it should have done, this is a beta version, so not everything is working as it necessarily should. It should separate the symbol from the label. It's not doing that. It should. And if it did, then I could move T. So I apologize. I don't know why that's not working. It's the first time I've shown this. So I'll have to go to the developers. I'm sure it's a known bug that they're working on. Let's see if it'll do it with pizza. There we go. Can I move? Nope, it's not. So I don't know why that's not working. Another thing I could do is if I put this just as a quick fix, I could do this as symbol, move that here. Maybe I want it to be a little bit smaller. And then I can add a label and put cup of tea. And then I can move that label, because it's separate, anywhere in my box. So I can put it wherever I want. It should separate out, unless that's a change I'm unaware of. So I'll find out. And can the words be made bigger? Somebody is asking. Yeah, absolutely. The words can be made bigger, not a problem. Let me go back to here. I can highlight the whole thing. And then I can go to my font, and it's not showing, maybe because I've got different types of fonts. It should do. I can do my font and make it as big as I want. Now, when I make my word too big, then obviously my symbol is going to get smaller, because the box, the button stays the size that I have decided, and everything then has to be smushed into it. Unless I use, again, a group, I can take this and I can then make that nice and big. And I'd have to increase the size of the label, and then I can do as I like. But when I go to move this cell, when I make the button a different size, look at it doesn't stretch with me. Okay, that's going to stay the same, unlike a group button where everything will stretch. Is there a preferred font? I've got a couple people asking. Preferred font, I think you probably mean, can I have a default font? That's something that people ask all the time. And I don't believe it's making it to the initial release, but it is on the list, and it will be, you will be able to set a default font with one of the free updates that will come out. The team's working really hard to get this out. We didn't kind of plan for a pandemic in the middle of developing this. So there have been some obstacles in our way, which means that there's a few things we're going to have to put out after release, because we really want to get Boardmaker 7 out there to people. So a default font will come in due course. Is that what you were asking, Gail? Does that answer your question? I think I've got Jane, everybody else, questions? Made the words bigger. Cool. All right. So I'm going to close this now. And what I want to show you is what we can do with Pod now. And what I want to say is, what I'm showing you is how you bring in the Pod books and the Pod templates you may already have. But also know that our team is working really hard alongside Gail Porter, who is the producer of Pod, to bring Pod templates that are going to work even better in Boardmaker 7. So I'll show you as I go through. There are a few little niggles that I will make you aware of, but it does work very well. There will be Boardmaker 7 compatible templates coming out, and I know the next questions are when and am I going to have to pay for it? And all I can answer to that, and I'm very sorry, is I don't know, because this is a third-party product. It's not something that we do. We don't create Pod. Pod is made by Gail Porter, distributed by CPAC, and there's things that we have to work with them. I can tell you there's a lot of people working on this, and it's not sitting there collecting dust. This is a project that we are involved in, and just keep an eye out on our website, on our Facebook pages, and we will let you know when there is news. For right now, I'm just going to show you what you can do with the Pod templates and books that you may already have. And we will absolutely let you know in due course when there's more to say about this. So right now I'm going to go again to open because I already have that pod book that I created for Rosie, and I want to edit that. I need to update some pages and things for her. So here on my desktop, I've got that pod book. Okay, now what I do is to bring this in rather than having to import all of these pages and deal with them as separate pages, like I have to do in Boardmaker 6, what I can do in Boardmaker 7 is if I right click on that and send it to compress it, then it's going to zip that up. That's a Windows thing, and there's something that's similar in Mac as well. I'm not a Mac user. I don't know the keyboard shortcut, but there is a way to do that in Mac. So here I can see this is Rosie's book, that 12 early function, and I'm going to click on open, and then I'm going to get that converter. Remember I was talking about favor editability over visual fidelity. That's where you can choose it at the time you bring that in. Okay, I'm going to keep it as editability because I don't mind that the symbols are a little bit lower or higher. I want to be able to edit. So now I would click import. This will take a few minutes to do depending on the size of the book because it's converting a lot of pages. So therefore I'm not going to do that right now. I've already brought Rosie's book in. I did that earlier today. Now Boardmaker 7 is not dependent on internet connection. So those of you who've been trying to do this in Boardmaker Online, I promise you this is going to be so much easier, so much better. So what I'm going to do is click on edit so that I can open up Rosie's pod book. And now when I go to the pages panel, you'll see there's a little caret here, which indicates that I can open this up. And now I've got all of Rosie's book here. And if I keep scrolling down and scrolling down, because those of you who know pod, you know the books can get quite big, I'm going to even see things like subfolders where we've got different templates. I know a little bit about pod, so I can't go into any detail other than if you know about pod, then you know what these are. But you get your subfolders. So now I can go in and let's find that page because I want to update people. So I want to update this for her. So what I'd like to do first is update her name. So I'm going to put in Rosie. So let's do that. And when I press return, I can initiate a symbol search. Now I could look for girl and find a symbol if that's what I use for Rosie. But what I can also do is go from file. And now I can find that photograph that I have of Rosie. So let's see, I've got people, there we go. So I'm gonna find, I think I've got a picture of Rosie here somewhere. Let's see. Ah, there she is. So I'm gonna put Rosie in there. All right, and now I get her picture. And I can do the same. Let's go with, actually, I'm going to go do dad, I press return. Now, for subscribers, you can also batch upload photos that you use often. So you don't have to worry, like I need to be on this computer to get that picture from file of Rosie. I need to be on the computer that that file is saved on. If I'm a subscriber, I can upload pictures that I use often to my media. So I've got a picture, dad is actually called Guy, so I saved that picture as Guy, and it doesn't matter, like that might be on my computer across town, and I'm now in my office, because it's uploaded to my media, it follows me around, it's cloud storage, so I can bring his picture in. Now, there are some things you'll find with Pod as it is now, bringing in those 6 files, like Gail put this on because she wanted to let you know to insert names and to do this. So if I want to edit this button, nothing's happening. I'm typing away. It's not editing like this empty one does, where I can, put in Sachin and press return and find a symbol for a boy and edit it like I do in Boardmaker 7. This one's not going to do that because when Gail put that instructions in, it actually changed the way of the button is working. So now if I click on the button itself, you'll see it's a group button. So I can, first I've got to delete that, that's fine. And now what I want to do is change that button back to standard. And then I can go in and I could put Felix in there and then find the symbol or the image for Felix. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions? I love my media. Somebody saying lovely for familiar people. Great. Thank you, Carly. I know you know a lot about pods. So if you say it makes sense, then I know it makes sense. um, there's something else you will see in some of the other buttons. It's not so much, I think, on this page. Yeah, no, actually, I can show you. To get the visual effect that Gail wanted, you will find that some things, you know, are group buttons, because she wanted to have that little thing there so that we, you know, have the, you know, what page to turn to and all that kind of stuff. So this stuff isn't going to work exactly, you know, as quickly and intuitively in what we call edit in place, click, type, return. You're just going to have to go in and fiddle that. But the team that's working on that is working on these niggles to make sure when pod for Boardmaker 7 is released that you're going to be able to edit as quickly and smoothly as possible, like you see me do with all the standard buttons. So just, you got to wait a little bit longer. I promise you the team's working hard on this. All right. So now, of course, I want to save that. So let me just go in and I'll save this as Rosie's pod. Something else I want to show you is the website. Excuse me. I'm going to just minimize this. And I'm now going to go to my Boardmaker account. So as a subscriber, you have your Boardmaker account. This is your cloud storage. It's part of your subscription. Now, standard users can set up what we call a free community account to get the cloud storage as well. Standard users with a community account won't get things like Reading Avenue and Core First Learning in the curriculum, or being able to assign things to students. But they will get the cloud storage, and they will get the community where they can share things, their files, with friends or with the public, whatever you want to do. But if I click on Boardmaker now, okay, this is my cloud storage. So look, there's Rafi's book, there's Swim book. In a moment, Rosie's book will upload as well. So again, that allows me to move around, because as a subscriber, I can install Boardmaker 7 on an indefinite amount of computers. So I don't have to remember, where did I make Rafi's book? Was it on my home computer? Was it in the classroom laptop? Was it on the IT suite? Where was it? With this cloud storage, it means I can move around to any of my installations and get my resources. And I don't have to worry about where it's saved and what I'm, you know, about where it's saved, sorry. End of a long day. So that's really cool. And if you come to some of the other sessions, for those of you who are using Boardmaker Online, the Boardmaker, transitioning from Boardmaker Online to Boardmaker 7, we talk about this quite a bit, because you're used to this kind of moving around, and we'll talk about that in that session. All right. I've got a couple of minutes left. So what I'm going to do is wrap up by going back to my PowerPoint. Feel free to ask questions again in chat. So I'm just going to go back to my PowerPoint. I have to change my share, and we'll wrap this up. So hopefully you will agree with me that Boardmaker 7 Editor is a huge improvement from whatever version of Boardmaker you're using, with lots of great features to support those who are using AAC. We spent a lot of time in the editor today, so that's that installed app that you can put as a subscriber on as many computers as you like. As a standard user, then you pay for license, which will allow you to install on a specific amount of computers. And we saw how you can create and edit and how you can use templates. Subscribers are going to get this also fantastic benefit called Activities to Go, which is 40 weeks of ready-made curriculum that's editable. We've got a session on that. Please come. It's very exciting stuff for subscribers. You saw a little bit of my Boardmaker and how you've got that cloud storage and the community. And I talked about what subscribers get, these added benefits of curriculum like Reading Avenue, Core First Learning, how you can manage accounts for people who are using and making things in Boardmaker 7 subscription, as well as assigning things out to students. And when you do that, you can collect data. We didn't take a look at the Student Center today, which is a way that we can take our resources and assign it through a player for our students to have interactive resources. And we're going to do a session called Interactive Activities. I think that's next week. Come take a look at that, and we'll talk about the Student Center. It's cool stuff. There's also some great links with Boardmaker 7. Boardmaker Online users know about this now, to Snap Core First, in that you can play interactive activities in Snap Core First. Things that you make in Boardmaker 7 interactive can play right in Snap Core First. It's a really, really cool feature. Works now if you're using Boardmaker Online, and it's going to work the same in Boardmaker 7. You can also toggle from the Boardmaker Student Center. So if you have someone who is using the interactive resources you've made in Boardmaker 7, they can click a button and it'll bring them to Snap Core First. They can make their comments about the spelling activity you gave them, and then they can bounce right back to Boardmaker Student Center. So it's a great connectivity between Boardmaker and Snap Core First. We've got lots more webinars coming up. Please come and join us. We're going to be doing at least 2 webinars a week right up until launch of Boardmaker 7. So sign up for more, learn more about it, get really excited as I am. Also, you can check out our website, the Tobii Dynavox website. Right on the homepage, you will find a link that gives you information all about Boardmaker 7. And of course, we've got a whole team of account managers here in the UK that are happy to help. They can give you some more personalized training and demonstrations about Boardmaker 7, as well as our other hardware and software. So I'm going to send you information in the follow-up. Do please get in touch if you want to know more than I was able to cover in this webinar. And at this point, I'm going to end the recording. Thank you so much for your time. If there's anyone on here who is a Boardmaker Online subscriber, if you can stick around for just a minute or two, I'm going to give you some important information about transitioning to Boardmaker 7 subscription. I know some of you already know about it. You can go too. But if you don't know about what's going to happen for you as a Boardmaker Online subscriber to Boardmaker 7 subscription, stick around. If you're watching this on a recording, there is a video called 3 Things Every Boardmaker Online User Needs to Know in this playlist. So go find that and you'll hear what I'm about to say, but I'm going to end the recording now. So thank you so much for your time and your attention, and I really do hope to see you again. I'm going to